All right, well, I hope everyone's doing well today, and I'm so excited that you could all join me to present Naughty Outdoors. So let's get right down to some naughty business. We've had some really exciting things going on lately. Just a few months ago, I traveled to Chicago to compete at the National CEO Conference in the elevator pitch competition, where I won 3rd place. And then I was invited to compete at the Southeastern Entrepreneurship Conference in Tampa, Florida, just this month, where I brought home 1st place. So for those of you in the audience who aren't familiar with what an elevator pitch is, well, it goes a little something like this. Hi, I'm Cassie Meyer, president and co-creator of Naughty Outdoors, a company created to give women a modern alternative to hunting apparel and accessories. This billion-dollar industry has been stuck in somewhat of a modernization rut lately, namely in the women's industry. There's an extreme lack of quality product options. Current hunting apparel is tailored towards men, which makes it bulky, and you're pretty unattractive right now. There is a market need for functional and fashionable women's gear, and this market has been growing rapidly. 72% more women are hunting with firearms today than just 5 years ago, and women hunting with bow and arrow is up 176%. By targeting this niche market, we will be able to capitalize on the largest growing segment of the hunting industry. In fact, the women's sector actually grew 5.4% in 2009, which translates into 163,000 new female hunters. And with every new female hunter comes a new hunting wardrobe. So, some of you may be asking yourselves, why do women care about what they look like when they hunt? Well, the answer's simple. Women always care about what they look like. And to prove it, we interviewed local female hunters to find these answers. Do you guys have any sound?
No.
Want to fit me the way that I tell it should.
Finding guys' clothes, gets folds and throw.
Farm King, since that's near where I live, it's a pretty easy place to go, or maybe online.
Mainly Presley, sometimes Gander Mountain, occasionally Farm King.
I've been to Gander Mountain, I've been to Presley's, and just kind of shopped online a little bit. I still haven't been able to find anything that I want to fit me the way that I feel it should.
Finding guys' clothes, gets folds and throw them big. Or I wear what my boyfriend has.
It's small and men's. Probably men's smalls, or sometimes I grab my son's old stuff.
I don't want baggy stuff, walking in the woods, walking out of the woods. And of course, climbing up my tree stand and whatnot.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important to fit, especially for functionality. If it's cold, I'd rather have something that's snug and warm than, having to layer a bunch of clothes because they're guys' clothes and things. So.
Girls are, we're conscious anyway, self-conscious, so.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about the look.
Well, sure.
So, now that you've seen just how big the problem really is in this market, let's see how big the size of this industry really is. In 2006, 87.5 million Americans spent over $122 billion on wildlife-associated recreation. That's $1,280 per person in just 1 year. And that number rose 6% from 82.3 million in 2001. Now, that covers all wildlife-associated recreation, so hunting, fishing, and bird watching. We can break that down even further and focus strictly on just the hunting industry, where 10% of the entire U.S. population aged 16 and older are male hunters and 1% are female hunters, for a total of 12.5 million total hunters. And the breakdown of that is 91% or 11.4 million males and 9% or 1.2 million females. A more recent survey was done in 2010. However, only limited data is available from that at this time, but it was found that there are now 20.9 million total hunters, and women make up 3.3 million or 16% of that population. So, from 2006, women's population has increased from 1.2 to 3.3 million and 9% to 16%. So you tell me, just how big is this industry going to keep growing in the women's sector in the next 5 years? And those increased populations translate into an even larger increase in profit for this industry, which brought in $25 billion in 2007, up from $22 billion the year before. And the average expenditures per household has now risen to $1,896 in just 1 year. But since Knotty Outdoors will be selling women's hunting apparel, it's important to note that $1.3 billion was spent just on clothing alone in this industry. As you can see here, the largest percentage of hunters come from those making $50,000 to $100,000 per year. So, as income increases, so do participation rates. And the majority of hunters, 59%, all make more than $50,000 per year. The largest segment based on age are those aged 35 to 44, and not far behind it are those aged 45 to 54. So those two age brackets alone make up 6 million total hunters. And as age increases here, from 16 to 34, percentage rates double. The biggest participation rates occur in the east, north, central region of the United States. So we are lucky enough to be right in the heart of the biggest population, making up Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Ohio. Those 5 states alone have 2.3 million or 19% of the hunters. Now, as I mentioned, all of this data came from the 2006 survey. At that time, the United States population was 229,000. Which now, from last year's census, is 310,000. Since we will be selling our clothes in the retail industry, it's also important to compare the hunting and retail industry together. So, even during the worst of the recession in 2008 and 2009, the clothing industry still grew 3%. And 87% of women shop and spend 25,184 hours and 53 minutes, or nearly 3 years of their entire lives shopping, simply because we're addicted to it. So from all that information, we can gather that our target market will be those aged 35 to 44 who make $50,000 to $100,000 per year and reside mostly within the east, north, central region of the United States. We have identified our main competitors as She Safari and Preuss. Both companies are pretty similar. She Safari started in 2005, Preuss started in 2008. They're both owned by females who are avid sports women. They both saw a problem in the market and made it their mission to fix it by making better fitting women's apparel. They both have good brand recognition in the major chain retailers such as Gander Mountain and Bass Pro Shops. However, both companies are still lacking in their original mission to make proper fitting women's hunting apparel. So, let me tell you why Knotty Outdoors is going to be different. As I mentioned, our competitors do not make proper fitting women's hunting apparel. It still doesn't fit. Their goal was to make better fitting apparel, which is pretty easy to accomplish when you think the only thing they had to compare it up against was men's apparel. So the goal of Knotty Outdoors is not to produce a better fitting line of apparel, rather a women's hunting line of apparel that actually fits. And specifically how we're going to be different is because our competitors offer their clothes in small, medium, large, your basic sizes. Now, if I were to go buy a pair of jeans that I wanted to fit properly, I most certainly would not buy them in a small, medium, or large. So why should it be any different for the hunting industry? Our pant sizes will be offered based on waist and length measurements, just like if you were going to buy a pair of jeans. Now, this industry used to be focused on targeting men, which was the largest growing segment. However, that trend has now changed, and more women than men every year are taking up the sport of hunting. A recent article from just this year, March 4th, ABC News interviewed Judy Rhodes, who's co-founder of Diva Wow, which stands for Women Outdoors Worldwide. She's quoted as saying that women are the market for the future. And they also interviewed Larry Whiteley of Bass Pro Shops, who stated that Bass Pro has added several women's categories in hunting and fishing, and female customers have grown significantly over the last 3 to 4 years in his stores. As I mentioned, Kirsty Pike, who is owner of Preuss, was also interviewed in this article last month, and she is quoted as saying that sporting and hunting companies are trying to keep up with the growing segment of women. Pike said that her sales doubled in 2010, and she has seen a 400% sales growth this year already. So that proves right there from a statement directly from one of our competitors that there's plenty of room in this market for new competition. Now, Naughty Outdoors has already hit the market with a basic line of casual hunting-themed apparel. I'd like to go ahead and bring these guys up on stage to show you what we offer. All right, so we have Bethany here wearing our women's hoodie. Actually, these 3 shirts alone right here, we have a much larger product line, but these 3 shirts are our most popular sellers at every show we go to. So she's wearing our girls' hoodie. We have Amber in the thermal, and then Lauren in our black V-neck, which I'm also wearing the white V-neck today. All of these shirts are offered in different styles. As you can see here, she's wearing the white thermal. So we've already hit the market, and we've already made sales in the last 3 months. We just came up with this idea in October. But the hunting industry is seasonal, so we knew we had to hit the market soon, because January through April are the seasonal times for outdoor trade shows, which is where we sold this apparel. You guys can go ahead and sit down. So as I mentioned, the first quarter of 2011 was focused on our casual line. For the second quarter, we're swiftly moving towards developing our camo line, and by fourth quarter of this year, we plan to have our camouflage line fully developed and available on retailers' shelves. Now, although we're going to focus ourselves on marketing towards those with a passion for the outdoors, we also realize that we are appealing to non-hunters simply because of our unique name and style of our casual line. So these are the other groups that we're going to appeal to. 18 to 24 and 35 to 44-year-olds are the largest growing women's segment. So 18 to 24-year-olds are the most impulsive shoppers and least likely to wait for a sale because they're more interested in having the latest fashion trend than waiting for something to go on sale. We're going to target them by social networks, and we also have already gained a large presence in high schools. Now, you guys know how high school students are. If they see their friends wearing something and they think it's cool, they all want the same thing. So we have actually sparked a very large interest in high school age students. Just last week, $1,000 of our revenue came directly from high school age students in these local high schools, just from seeing their friends wear it. 35 to 44-year-olds are less concerned with fashion and more likely to wait for something to go on sale. So we plan to target them by using a customer relationship management tool to target them with promotions and coupons. We will use a pull strategy at our outdoor trade shows to drive customer demand and a push strategy to retailers to get them to put our products on their shelves. And our pricing will be in line with our competitors. We are going to operate in a business-to-business and business-to-consumer environment. We have 3 sales channels: outdoor trade shows, online, and major chain retailers. So as I mentioned, we already have online presence. We have a fully functioning website at naughtyoutdoors.com. In fact, if I can get the internet to work in here, which I think it does, I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit of our website. So this is our current website right now. You can purchase products off of it, which people have done. And it shows our co-ed, our women's, and our children's apparel. And actually, our kids' shirts have been extremely popular as well. So I want to take a look at those. We have a little boy's shirt that says "Naughty Son of a Gun," and a little girl's shirt that says "Naughty but Nice." So our other sales channel is going to come from outdoor trade shows, which we've already been attending for the last 3 months. We actually attended 5 trade shows. So the financial forecasts that you see there are based off actual sales at these trade shows. So this is a picture of our booth here. It's 20 foot wide by 10 foot high. We designed and built the entire thing ourselves out of weathered barn siding. And it has 2 42-inch TVs playing DVD trailers that we actually took ourselves during the past hunting season. And these TVs play loud music to draw attention to our booth. So, I haven't mentioned the other side of our business yet. These TVs, like I said, are playing DVD trailers. We actually are fortunate enough here at Naughty Outdoors to have highly skilled pro staff members who have been shooting footage for White Knuckle Productions, Hayes Calls, and bowhunting.com. These guys had a camera in hand all last season and were able to film some really great footage of waterfowl hunting, which will be coming out on DVD in July. So let's take a look at our management team. I'm Cassie Meyer. As I mentioned, I'm the president of this company. I already mentioned that I've won 3rd place in Chicago at the elevator pitch competition and 1st place in Florida. Jake Meyer, who is actually back there on the camera now, is one of our pro staff members. He's hunted his entire life. He has an accomplished history in waterfowl hunting, competition calling, and tournament fishing. And he is a pro staff member for White Knuckle Productions and Hayes Calls. Just in case you guys aren't familiar with what that is, White Knuckle Productions, Hayes Calls, and bowhunting.com are filming production companies that all have shelf space already in major chain retailers. So as I mentioned there, we need industry networks to be able to get into these retailers, and we already have that. Lauren is our designer. She has actually designed our entire product line, and she is also an avid sportswoman, so she brings everything to this business that we're looking for. She's able to do the fashion side of it, but also understands the hunting side of it. Clinton Fawcett, also on a camera over there. I feel like I'm introducing my band. Clinton, same thing. He was a pro staff member for White Knuckle Productions. He actually just recently got recruited by bowhunting.com, so he's now filming for them. He has 10 years of art lessons under his belt, which proves to be invaluable for this company because he actually, this graphic that you see right here is actually a still shot from him filming. So these people down here at the bottom are us. That's how good he is. So let's take a look at our growth strategy. As I mentioned, DVD sales, our DVD titled Plowin' Snows, which is our snow goose hunting DVD, will be out in July for our next show in Birmingham, Alabama. And we're also looking into doing full TV shows. So we've already spoke to Jake from the Sportsman's Channel. He's from Wisconsin. He actually came to our booth to check us out at the Wisconsin show, where he stopped and watched our DVDs playing and was quoted as saying that this is the best snow goose footage he's ever seen. Our exit strategy is 5 years, where we hope to get acquired by a major chain retailer. And if that doesn't pan out for us, we plan to merge with a competitor or do an initial public offering. Naughty Outdoors is seeking $75,000 in capital for 7% equity investment, and in 2.5 years, you will see a 25.5% return on investment. We're going to use those funds for general and administrative expenses to design and develop our camo line and brand ourselves in the market. So as you can see here, by year 3, we're already expecting a $1.3 million revenue. And that's all I have for you today, so let's get to the naughty questions.